I have so much to cover with you that I don't know how I'm going to keep this video under 20 minutes, but I'm going to do my best. So let's see if I can do that. Hello everybody, my name is Carrow. I'm an urban fantasy author. I'm also a comic book writer over at Ripperverse. I do actually a lot of things over at Ripperverse, but this is not the video for that. And what you are coming into is my weekly check-in video that I do where I talk about what I've done, what I'm going to do, and any friction points that I've encountered through the last time I checked in with you, and basically it's a big accountability video. Some people like to do quarterly accountability videos. I like to do weekly because that's just how busy I am. It's absolutely crazy. I actually tried to plan out next month. Oh, you know what? It's a new quarter, isn't it? Shit. All right, we're not going to talk about that right now. Anyway, I planned out next month. And it was kind of a mishmash between busy and not busy because my second surgery is coming up next month, and so I definitely have some downtime. But that doesn't mean that this train stops for anybody. There's a lot that needs to happen, and so let's talk about actually what's happened since I last seen you. So first off, the reason I didn't do the last video is because my video editing software updated, and usually what I used to do is I would record within the software, but it was very glitchy last time, so what we're doing is something a little different where I'm recording on the PC and then I'm going to drag it in there and hope for the best. So cross fingers that you get to see the polished version of that. But since the last time I've seen you, it's been about two-ish weeks. Yeah, it's been about 2 weeks. I launched a book called Dirty Deeds Jailbreak. You're gonna find all of this down in the video description below if anybody is curious about, investing in me and my work. I would really appreciate it. But Dirty Deeds Jailbreak has been released. It's out for pre-order right now. This is not a comic book. It is a long-form novel. It is sci-fi. It follows the ragtag group of the Dirty Deeds before they actually met and came together, and how they came together in the full chaos involves breaking out of jail. So if you are fond of ragtag groups and found families and chaos happening in space, I would recommend it. But wait, there's more. I launched another book. It's a graphic novel I did with Igor, and it is called Smuggler Stitch, and it actually follows a character I was super interested in when I first read Isom 1, written by Eric DeJuly over at the Ripperverse, and his name is Cedric. And the reason I was so interested in Cedric had to do with a key few lines that he had in his dialogue, and just the fact that this is the guy that all heroes go for the super suit. I love these kind of characters, and so when Eric gave me the opportunity to write what I wanted, I said I want to write Cedric, and he handed him to me, and I have cherished this wonderful responsibility. And when it came time to do the interiors, I really wanted to work with Igor because Igor is very talented. He has got great expressive art, and I felt like he was just the guy for the job. So that will be down below too for you to go and check out. The other thing that I launched is actually nothing to do with Ripperverse. It involves an indie film group called Rising Tide, and they approached me asking if I would be able to assist with launching a new film that they have, and that film is called Where Even Shadows Fear to Tread. It is a dark thriller, kind of mystery, cop sort of thing going on. I haven't read the full script. I've only seen like the video trailer, which was really good. And the owner of the company, Jared, reached out and said, hey, you seem to be a person that knows things. Would you be willing to come and help us with this? I said yes, because when friends ask for help, you usually go and help them. And that is on Kickstarter right now. Part of what this Kickstarter is doing is it's paying for some of the production costs that come with this film, but it's also a film that there are things that mainstream media does not like to produce because they like to stay on the rails, if that makes any sense. And so one of the really awesome things that happens with indie film groups is that they get to produce content that everybody else is kind of shying away from. And so when Jared was explaining it to me along with Daniel, who's the co-writer of this, it was definitely something that I was like, no, I think this is a good script and a good movie that could be out there. And I definitely want to encourage more people to help promote indie work because unfortunately the bigger studios at this point are kind of like in panic mode where they're trying to not take risks at this point, where all the risks that comes and all the financial responsibility of those risks falls on the indies. So again, link down below. It would mean a lot to me if you go and check it out, maybe support it. They've even got like a dollar tier, so if you can only give $1, we'll definitely take that. Every cent counts for us. I keep thinking that I may have forgotten something, but I don't know if I've forgotten something or if I'm thinking about something that's coming up, but there's definitely more stuff that's coming down the pipeline. So that's exciting that I can't remember everything. That's why I need to do these videos every week. But whatever. I did get to go to MegaCon, and I got to connect with a lot of really awesome people and have some very solid conversations. I got to have like a brief chat with Zach Levi. I don't know if you heard about him. He's from a movie called Shazam. He may have played in it. You can check it out. He's done a couple of other things like Chuck 2.0. He was in Tangled. I mean, he's he's got a little bit of track record. And my husband was actually really kind enough to help me get a couple of signatures from some folks that I was like super interested in getting to have a quick conversation with. Jonathan Frakes, Patrick Robert, and I even got to see William Shatner. Granted, my conversation with William Shatner was pretty brief because I was like, do you accept bribes? And he looked at me and he was like, well, what kind of bribes were we talking about? I was like, what about book? And he was like, I'll take it. And I was like, cool. So I slid in my book because that's what you do. But the MegaCon experience, although extremely taxing and exhausting, was very rewarding. I had a great time with everybody there, and I hope to do it again next year. So now that we're done talking about that, let's go ahead and talk about what we're going into for this coming week. So my friction points are actually involving my planning system, or how I'm trying to plan. I'm trying to create a system where it doesn't require maintenance from me, and I know a lot of people are like, well, there's lots of systems like that, and you're correct, but systems that I need, I hate saying that they're complicated. It's like, Carrow, you want a low maintenance system, but you're making a complicated system. Yes, I know what I am, and I know what I'm doing. But it's something that I'm trying to create in Obsidian, and I swear the moment I get this figured out, I'm going to do an Obsidian tour. I'm going to show you my vault. I'm going to tell you exactly how I do this. But the general idea of what I'm trying to do, there's a whole bunch of things that I'm trying to get done, both goal-wise, for personal, professional, and everything. And I'm trying to do my best to tackle all of these things within a realistic thing without completely burning out. And it just requires like a little, it's not like SMART goals, so to speak, because like it's about like 21 things that I'm trying to get done within a year. And if I try to do 21 things every day, I'm definitely going to be like, a pool on the floor, like drooling, because that's what's going to happen. But I feel like I'm this close. Like as soon as I get done with this video, I'm literally going to go back into the other room and I'm going to work on my system, because I feel like I'm like this close to figuring it out. But I want to say probably part of the reason I'm struggling with this isn't so much the system, but it's also my energy level, because one of the things I try to do every night before bed is I try to plan my day before. And before, when I was just using, I think like a typical notebook, before when I was just using like a little basic notebook, this was something that would take like maybe 5 minutes. But this was back in a time when I didn't have a lot going on. This was like, I'm thinking like back in Florida, when I only had one job and not three that I'm trying to do, and juggling all these other projects and everything else. It's an evolving thing. So that's my friction point. My planning system, figuring how to plan, trying to make it frictionless. Like if I could make it automatic, but still something that I have to be involved with, that would be great. But I'm just not there yet. We're working on it. Small stuff. My other friction point, if I had to be completely honest, is actually my energy. And the reason I'm saying that is because after MegaCon, I have been hit with like the worst kind of vertigo ever. And I'm not super alarmed by it, because in my family, on my grandfather and my father's side, actually grandfathers on both sides now that I'm thinking about it. So grandfathers on both sides, my father and myself, we all have vertigo issues at some point. Like we reach like an age cap and suddenly the vertigo starts happening. And part of the reason I think I had the vertigo issue is because I traveled, I overtaxed myself, I wasn't very hydrated, and then I did that for 4 days, and then I traveled again and got home and immediately started working again. So I definitely am at a fatigue level. I have been trying to drink a lot of water and do electrolytes, but it's just, it's just going to have to take time. I did read that having Benadryl helped, and so I had one Benadryl before I went to sleep the other night, and that actually did help. So I think I'm 80% better at this point, but I still have those moments like right now where the room kind of spins, but it's not as bad as it was like last Monday. I promise I'm taking care of myself. I will keep taking care of myself. Do not worry. Everything's fine. So next week is not as busy as the previous couple of weeks. I want to say it's a little lighter. You've got the typical things that I like to do. We're going to do the next Sunday video. I've got a blog post on Tuesday, the worksheet on Thursday, Fun Friday topic. I'm actually starting to post an article on X once a week. I think I'm going to do that on Wednesdays going forward, just because I want to see what that does. The last one I did where I talked about fandom seemed to be really well received. So if you are on X and you want to see that, you definitely are more than welcome to. I have 2 scripts that I need to do. One is for a contract, one is for work. Because my deadline would probably need to do the one for work more, because that deadline's like really soon. So that's as soon as my outline gets a start on that and get it done. And then after I get done with that part, I have to review and give feedback on like 4 scripts? No, not 4, maybe 4. three. Definitely three. Definitely three, maybe four. It hasn't come in yet. So that's why I keep thinking four, because there's a fourth one that might be coming in at some point. So I am going to have to really do my block time for sure. Dream-wise, not super extensive. Monday, if you guys are interested, I'm still doing the Stardew and Chill with me stream. So I'll be doing that for a couple of hours. And then Thursday will be very busy because I have a stream with Danny, Plot Holes and Payoffs, which is our podcast that we're going to do. We're finally going to talk to Tamayo, which that's been a journey. I'll talk about it next week. We'll have a discussion about one of the scenes from Sinners. Not a live watch, just a discussion. And Thursday night, I'm going to be on M4 with Marv, and I think we have a guest speaker there. I say we because I was invited to come back after going last week. Marv's really cool, by the way. If you guys have not gone to that channel, I'll put it down below. And on Saturday, I have my second Star Wars tabletop game over at the Moonskull channel. So I get to play the Droid of My Dreams one more time. If you guys haven't seen the last one, that's totally cool. Again, I'll put a link down, and you can just watch me droid all over the place. We all had a great time. Fantastic group. It went really well. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything else for this week, but I think not. At the start of the video, I realized that the next quarter's coming, and I've only planned for the next month and not the next quarter. So more than likely, when we touch base again next week, I'll tell you guys what my quarter goals are going to be, because I like to plan big and then kind of break it down into chunks like that. And maybe at that time I'll go over what the 21 goals that I have for this coming year is, if you're interested. If not, that's cool. I'll just keep them to myself, but I do like accountability. But I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up on that front, because I am actually really tired now that I keep saying the word tired over and over again. I'm really feeling it. So we'll edit the video. I'll throw it out there into the universe. Feel free to check in with how you're doing, where you're trying to get to, any friction points that you may have encouraged, and anything that you feel like sharing. Because at the end of the day, these videos are kind of me to hold myself accountable, but you're welcome to do the same if you feel comfortable doing so. But until then, I have a lot of stuff going on this week. I will see you next Sunday, and stay jazzy.